countries have got a lot of product. A lot of countries have got really, really high-end, very special, high-quality product. So what is it that makes South Africa that much different? It's the way we've adapted the product to suit our Indian market. For example, and there's a lot of people that's going to talk after me that's going to give you more examples. One segment that we get from our Indian market from a leisure point of view is family travel. Now, we had to look at how Indians travel as families, that it is very often 3 generations that travel together. It's mom and dad, kids, and the grandparents. And the product in South Africa had to transform the offering to make sure that if you go to anything from a wine estate to a game reserve, in the same place, there is stuff to do for 3 different generations, with 3 different wants, 3 different needs. There's a lot of family fun activities that we've brought online. The big plus for us, specifically out of India, has been the fact that we allow children to do adventure activities. You know, in South Africa, the product often complains, and I would say to you, that it takes more paperwork to open an adventure activity than to open a bank. And the reason for that is that we need to make sure that you are safe. That when you do the activities, that you are absolutely safe. South Africans do a lot of adventure activities. So there's a big drive from home for the guys to say, we take part in it, we need to make sure that people are safe when they do it. We've also then looked at the family market, because South Africans travel as family, and said, why do we not allow children to do a whole lot of things? If the reason is a technical reason, for example, if you go upstairs to the roadshow, you'll see the bungee jump people there. If you weigh less than 40 kilograms, you cannot bungee jump, because we don't have a rope for you. It's a technical specification. We don't allow children to do it. But if there is no technical specification, we do allow kids to do it. So we've had the world record for the youngest skydiver was set by an Indian kid in South Africa, 7 years old. He was wholly comfortable going up in the plane. His parents was comfortable in the plane, and he actually did a skydive. He had such a good time. So we allow kids to do that, and people love it. You know, when we live in India, I'm based in Mumbai, and I always say to our South African product when they come in, the one thing we need to understand about our Indian travelers is they are not cash poor. They are time poor. We have only so much time. We want to do as much as possible in the time that we have. The second thing is, look at the way we live. We work long hours. We spend a lot of time on the road getting to and from work. Life is busy here. When we go on holiday, we want to spend time with the people that we took on holiday with us, and we want to make sure that every single moment makes a memory. And by allowing children to do that, we give you that chance to make, it's a much different memory if you skydive with your kids, or you shark cage dive with your children, or you went to safari with your children, than when you've just gone to a museum. So we're giving you that incredible bonding experience, and it's designed specifically for the Indian market. The other thing that has picked up dramatically from the market, bar for family travel, and I'm just lifting 2 of them out, is the request from our Indian travelers saying, we want to partake more. We want more experiences. We don't just want to come to South Africa and look at a mountain. We actually want to volunteer. We want to take part in the things that you have. And we've seen 2 different outcomes in that. In South Africa, there is a big drive to get South Africans off the sofa. So there's a lot of South Africans that try out a new thing. And Indians like the idea that if they learn something new, you go to South Africa, you are going to learn to surf. It's easy to find a school. You are going to be in the school with other grown-ups that have never done it before, that's South African, so you don't feel like you're this grown-up with a bunch of children. And it's a lot of fun. We're not trying to overcomplicate it. We want you to have fun. We want you to have the experience. So for a lot of the sporting experience, we get a lot more Indians coming in saying, I want to be a certified diver, I want to learn to surf, I want to learn to kite surf. On the flip side, there's I think a universal need from parents to make sure that when we take our children somewhere, they do bring something back that's more than just a fun memory. What we've seen with specifically in our safari and our conservation businesses, is that they're allowing the children to interact. There's a beautiful saying in South Africa, what we need to do is not leave a better earth for our children, but we need to leave better children for our earth. And when these kids come to South Africa, they get an opportunity to interact with the earth the way it was supposed to be. And what grown-ups do. You put them on a safari vehicle, you expose them to the conservation project, they do some time with Sandcock who looks after the penguins, and they get to interact with them. They get it. They get this earth that we live on. And one day, when they run the world, they're never going to make a profit and loss decision based on money only. They were always going to consider the earth. So it's in our favor as inhabitants of the earth to expose these kids. So we've tried very hard in all the offerings that we do, specifically for the Indian market, to get rid of the barrier, to bring you guys a lot closer. And there's a lot that you can do. The other great thing about South Africa, of course, is that there's so much in the same place. You know what traveling is like. Traveling to the Chennai airport, how much time does it take? Then you spend how much time at the airport? Then it's on the flight. Then it's getting luggage the other side. So what we've done, we've got a whole lot of the smaller guys here, the smaller cities, they say to you, we're not a drive-by stop. You come.
All about the Western Cape region and Cape Town, which is India's favorite. Before that, let's let you see a little bit of Cape Town with a video.
That video is a showcase of all that we have to offer. What I want to start with is like what's new, what's happening in terms of the Indian market in Cape Town and the Western Cape. What's new is that we've seen an increase in incentive and corporate business out into the Western Cape, and this has been really exciting for us because what's happening is that there's a comeback of the business travelers are coming back to revisit as leisure travelers. They're coming in with their families or in groups or with FITs, so that's been really, really great for us. Of course, Cape Town is well known, as you've seen from the video, for the mountain. It's one of the 7 wonders, natural wonders of the world. Our wine route, we're one of the wine capitals of the world. We're known for our shark cage diving, our whales during the whale season, whale watching. And very popular, recently from the Indian market is whiskey tasting, film, and weddings that are taking place in Cape Town because of the beautiful attractions and sceneries that we have to offer. Cape Town is also a big draw card for international events like the Jazz Festival, Cape Argus Cycle Tour, Two Oceans Marathon. We've got a wide brand of international branded hotels, a whole range of hotels with all different brands, and over 20,000 bed nights within Cape Town and the Western Cape. And some of our hotels, like we've got our own local branded hotels like Sokasan, we've got the Taj hotels, but they are very friendly to the Indian market in terms of, their kitchens. They will hire out their kitchens to the Indian market groups. You can bring your own chefs, so that's really great. So they're very welcoming in that way. I want to talk a bit about air access. Westro has opened up recently a new air access division, and we're working really, really hard on opening new routes into the Western Cape. Right now for this market, I think there's direct access to Cape Town, flying via Ethiopia Airlines, Abu Dhabi, and Dubai. Those are the most convenient flights into Cape Town, but of course there are direct flights into Johannesburg, and then it's a 2-hour flight thereafter into Cape Town. Golf is also now big on the agenda, and I believe Chennai is one of those cities that's actually showing interest in golf and golfing tours. So that's all.
Winnie, in a department called Durban Tourism, department responsible for the marketing of Durban as a tourist destination. If we go back to the presentations we've had, I can request for you to add to wow at the I wanna go again. The video has just showed you the glimpse of what Durban is about. You all in here know that Durban is one place outside India where Indians are. In terms of the latest stats, we have experienced 20% of visitors to South Africa end up in Durban. However, we've got the Indian community already staying in Durban with us. And that adds to the cultural diversity that Durban has. That part of the world boasts the cultural diversity such that we even go to the extent of calling ourselves the gateway to the rest of the city and the rest of the country. And that is because of the cultures that exist in the province and the country. You can all find them in Durban, and also about 3 hours drive from Durban city center you get to see the Big Five, and you get to enjoy the scenic beauty of the country. Just in that city. 45 minutes drive from the city center, you come to what is called Zulu Safari Park, where you see the traditional Zulu cultural village, and they also have the safari park in that same facility. Indians coming to South Africa have been enjoying, 5-star experience, so they like, those sort of experiences. The game drives that I've been talking about, they've been enjoying a lot of those, and we've discovered that Indians are a lot adventurous, like the earlier presentations by South African tourism also made reference to that. So in Durban, we've got in place, in 2010 Soccer World Cup Stadium, we've got adventure activities that exist there in that stadium. We have observed that they get to enjoy.
There's a lot of nice places in South Africa. One of the most popular, as was previously mentioned, is Cape Town. And for me, a first-time visit to South Africa, if you have a short itinerary and you have short time, the best route to follow would be from Cape Town, do the garden route, and then do your safari in the Eastern Cape. One of the main reasons people come to South Africa is for the safaris. And if you look at the bottom there, it's in Addo Elephant National Park. That photo is actually cut off. There's about another 100 elephants on both sides. Actually, let me show you.
Nature reserves. We also have just about everything doable to do in our... I start again. Okay, so my name is Lara. I'm from the Plettenberg Bay, and I live in the prettiest town in our country. I'm sorry to say this, but it is actually the prettiest town. And most people believe it as well. People flock there from all over just because, well, the selfie opportunities are just awesome. We have nature reserves surrounding our town, and you can do so many things in our town. You can go skydiving, you can go bungee jumping, you can go whale watching, you can swim with seals, you can go visit nature reserves. We have the Big Five outside as well. You can go skydive. There's actually just too much to do and too little time. So what people tend to do is when they visit our town, they stay maybe the first time for three days only, and the next time when they visit us, they'll actually extend that stay for a week. Plettenberg Bay is actually very affordable. You can keep yourself entertained for no money by going to the beaches or taking a canoe trip down the rivers, but for the small amount of 2,000 rupees per day, you can actually go and visit just about any attraction. So you can go visit, you can go whale watching for 2,000 rupees, you can skydive, but it will be about 3,000 for that. So it is affordable.
A huge amount of art, we sell a huge amount of lifestyle, but here, if we want adventure people, we want to sell new experiences, we've got to have it in Chennai. So we came a little bit more focused. Now today, we're coming back with South Africa 3.0, because the trade was saying to us, you know what, the product is perfect. The experience is perfect. Return visitors over 35%. So the guys that go, love it, can't wait to come back, do it again. But
we are close to the 80,000 mark, and we're hoping by the end of this year, which is our fiscal year, to have over 100,000 Indian nationals visiting South Africa. Now we can do this job. We can do it with our partners in the trade here, both in India and our trade in South Africa. But the media play an enormous role in helping us get the message of South Africa to your population. And I want to thank you on behalf of South African tourism for allowing us the opportunities to spread the fantastic wow experience that we have in South Africa to all of the people across India.
Like an umpire. With the popularity growing of South Africa growing in India, I think, and like Annelie said, this is a really good time to come and talk to the media, talk to the people of India, and talk to the trade about credibility, to give advice on who you actually book with. So SATSA was established in 1969, 48 years old, a little bit older than me. And it's really a non-profit, member-driven association that looks after the entire tourism value chain. So we have all of the products upstairs. Most of them are, they all have to be either a SATSA member or they have to be graded by the Grading Council. So SATSA in total has about 700 members. And what we do is really that we are the recognized mark of credibility in South Africa. It's a sought after endorsement of good business practices. And how